Theme song. Iron Man does whatever an iron can. Spins a web? No, he can't, 'cause he is just an Iron Man.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Our Dads Are Brothers, a TV and movie review podcast. I'm Nathan Tracy, along with my co-host.
I'm Bat Tracy. In today's episode, we are actually not reviewing anything because we're going to be talking about the future of the MCU, phases 5 and 6, most likely.
Yes, we're reviewing a schedule, I guess.
You could say that.
Sure.
How you been lately?
I've been doing pretty good. Just working and hanging out and whatnot. You?
About the same, about the same. I've been going downtown a couple times looking for stuff on the side of the street, but other than that,
Nice, nice.
you been watching anything recently?
No, not really. Just some game shows. Password started. Do you remember that old show? Betty White was on it often.
Yes.
Yeah, they redid it with Kiki Palmer as the host, and Jimmy Fallon's been on every episode. It's only been a few so
I
far, but
do not like Jimmy Fallon.
yeah,
I
I
was
know you
thinking
say it every single episode.
I was thinking about Betty White earlier because you know how everyone was like, "Oh, Betty White's got to get to 100 or whatever."
Yeah,
Well, Betty White was famously a huge prankster. So what if she pranked the entire world and she was like, "I'm gonna die right before I turn 100." How funny would that be?
she would have done it the day before if she was that big of a prankster.
Yeah, maybe
Not like
3
random number
weeks.
of days. Yeah.
I've been watching The Orville recently. It's the Seth MacFarlane Star Trek show, basically.
Oh yeah.
I've been really enjoying it actually. Season one was a little hit or miss. I actually didn't like most of the humor in season one, and I
Sure.
kind of wish I was like, they should just take the jokes out, just make it a sci-fi show. And season one still has some jokes, but it's I think more serious and streamlined to now, and they're more
Mm-hmm.
focused on just like this is basically Seth MacFarlane Star Trek, and yeah, I really like it.
Nice. Yeah, I know Seth MacFarlane likes space. He is the executive producer on Cosmos, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really big Star Trek fan because he tried to get the rights to Star Trek and couldn't. So then he was like, "Well, I'll just make my own show." And that's
And
how
then
he made Orville.
he made the Family Guy Star Wars special. Yeah, he loves space.
Yeah. That's I think the only show I've really been watching.
Sure.
I think I mentioned last week, season 4 of What We Do in the Shadows is currently airing, and so I watch that weekly. That show's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic. You should check that one out if you ever have to. You got to watch the movie first because the show is a sequel to the movie, but it's very, very good.
Sounds good. I'll have to look into it.
It's like The Office, but with vampires.
Oh, nice.
So they like talk to the camera and stuff. It's really fun.
Do you want to do some birthdays?
I would love to jump into the birthdays.
Yeah, today is August 18th. And who do we have?
Today's birthdays include Andy Samberg from Lonely Island, Christian Slater, who is a heartthrob, Dennis Leary, he's an asshole, Edward Norton from Hulk and other things, Caitlin Olsen from It's Always Sunny, Malcolm Jamal Warner from Cosby Show, Martin Mull, he is from Roseanne and Arrested Development, Patrick Swayze, and Robert Redford.
Bobby Blueford? Blue Chevy, I mean? Who are we going to highlight today?
I was thinking Patrick Swayze. I'm a big Swayze head.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, Patrick Swayze was born in Houston, Texas in 1952. He sadly died from pancreatic cancer on September 14th, 2009, at a young, ripe age of 57.
He died too soon,
Too soon.
but he did smoke like 60 cigarettes a day his whole life. And even after he got his cancer diagnosis, he never quit. So, I mean, it makes sense that,
Yeah.
but it's still sad because I think he's best known for the movies The Outsiders, Red Dawn, Dirty Dancing, Roadhouse, Ghost, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and Donnie Darko. Some great, great movies
I've not seen much of that, to be honest.
of the ones I listed.
Correct.
I think I've seen all of those. Yes.
That's good.
Roadhouse is one of my favorite movies ever. It's maybe the best worst movie ever because it's like if you watch it, it's not a great movie, but it's the best movie.
Yeah.
It's it's fantastic. Dirty Dancing is our grandma's favorite movie. And that's a pretty good one. And then Donnie Darko is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I really like To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, because it's Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo as drag queens.
No, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. So I got some fun facts about Patrick Swayze for you.
What are your fun facts?
Well, our grandma once told me that she would have had sex with Patrick Swayze.
I feel like most people's grandmas would say the same thing.
Well, in May of 1997, Patrick Swayze was filming HBO's Letters from a Killer when he was injured. He was thrown from a horse and he hit a tree. He broke both his legs and suffered 4 detached tendons in his shoulders.
Yikes.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And another fun fact for you. Swayze suffered from alcoholism for 10 years. Now, this isn't the fun part, but during his recovery, he took a break from acting and he moved to his ranch to raise horses. I thought that was pretty fun. I always like when someone can get injured by an animal or whatever, and they're like, no, I don't blame the animal at all. I still love those.
Right.
So that's how it should be. Like,
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people that at least begin by studying sharks, if they get bit by a shark, they keep studying. That's really cool.
yeah. And like, so like I'm a delivery driver and I see a lot of dogs on people's houses. And, I'm always very friendly to dogs and I
Yeah.
always pet them and stuff. And they always like try and apologize for their dogs or whatever. And I'm like, you literally don't have to apologize. Even if this dog bit me, it would be my fault, not yours as the owner. It would be my fault. So no worries. I always tell people that.
Yeah,
This dog
exactly.
doesn't know me. I'm just a random person. So like if it
Yeah.
does bite me, it's totally my bad.
Yeah, like their curb almost rolled my ankle once, and I'm not mad at the curb.
I'm gonna get you evicted from your house because of this.
Well, any more Patrick Swayze comments right now?
Nothing I can think of. I talked about Roadhouse. This isn't about Patrick Swayze, but I'll tell you this. There's a line in Roadhouse. Terry Funk, the wrestler, is in it, and there's a part where he's talking to Patrick Swayze, and Patrick Swayze has a reputation for being the best bouncer in the world. Though he's not a bouncer, he's a cooler. But Terry Funk goes, "I heard you have balls big enough to come in a dump truck, but you don't look like much to me." And I'm just like, it doesn't make sense.
No,
Such a
not really.
great line. But apparently Terry Funk, it wasn't in the script. He was saying that to people like when they weren't filming, and someone heard it and was like, "That is so funny. We're gonna put that in the movie."
Wow.
It's so dumb. But all right, should we jump right into today's topic?
No.
No. Oh man.
So I'm going to give it our email, ourdadsandbrothers@gmail.com. Hit us up with any comments, requests, anything, really. Now we got another email from our buddy Drew. He said that the movie ending and the next movie starting with someone falling and splatting is actually the Crank movies. That
Yeah, I
has
completely
happened.
spaced on that.
Yeah. So he requested that we mention that, and he kind of did a semi-request to do a Jason Statham episode where we focus on Transport and the Crank franchise and mention other films. So maybe that'll be in the nearish future.
I was thinking we could do the Transporter series by themselves and Crank by themselves.
Well, perfect. So
Especially Crank. Oh my God.
within the next 2 or 3 years, those will be done. We've got a lot on our plates, folks.
In the next 5 to 10 years, we'll get to it.
No, 2 to 3. I said what I said. And if you have any dollars, $1, $10,
$2,
$100, $2,
$1,000.
send it our way so we can keep this podcast going for the long run.
I haven't paid my electricity bill in 10 years. Please help me.
That's not true. You're recording.
It's true.
Yeah, let's get right into this.
Sweet. Well, today, like I said at the start of the episode, it's the future of the MCU. So I thought we could just have a nice conversation about what's coming out in the future of the MCU.
Sure. What's coming out in 2026?
2020. Whoa. You're getting a
Whoa.
little ahead of schedule, buddy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's dial it back.
So currently, we are in phase 4 of the
Yes.
multiverse saga. That is what they are
Yes.
calling this one now. And phase 4 has only been going for like a year or two, and it just feels fucking endless because there's so much. Like,
Yeah, it's been going since January of last year. So it's almost 2 years, honestly.
which
Yeah.
is the original phases were longer, but there was only 2 movies a year. So
Yeah.
it just feels like a lot, especially with all the TV shows. So like phase 1 it was 6 movies, and it equaled out to like 12 hours and a few minutes or whatever.
Sure.
And then phase two was also 6 movies, and it equaled out to like 12 hours and 40 minutes or whatever, a little bit longer. When phase three had like 11 movies, and it equaled out to like 24 hours. Well, phase four is already equaled up to like 50 hours of content. It's ridiculous.
Well, phase four, right out the gate, started with 3 shows for the first time ever.
Yeah,
for
which is
for the MCU.
partly
And
because of COVID,
yeah,
because the movies got delayed because of movie theaters and whatnot. But
but they also, it's, I mean, honestly, it's a good marketing ploy. Like, one movie versus a 6 episode season. Like, let's get people in the shows, because each episode is almost an hour, if not an hour.
Yeah, they're
So
roughly
that's
like 40 minutes.
yeah. So it's literally almost a 6 hour movie per season.
Yeah.
And then it's just crazy.
But so I figured we would start at the tail end of phase four,
No.
because some shows haven't come out yet. There's only 2 things coming out.
Yeah,
I
we're
was going to
talking about
mention
the
those.
future. Duh.
And
That's what the future is.
yes, so
Things that haven't come out yet.
rounding off phase four. Well, we just happened to notice this. She-Hulk Attorney at Law started yesterday, so I thought that was fun. But
That's not the
in
future. That's
October,
yesterday.
it is yesterday. In October of this upcoming year, we have the Untitled Marvel Halloween special.
Which I can't believe is untitled. Like, the fact it's coming out in 2 months from now. I mean, if it's hush hush, that's one thing.
Yeah,
But why is it untitled still? Come on.
because the rumor is that it has something to do with like spooky type characters. Like I think it's gonna be an anthology type special.
Okay.
Because there's some rumors of like Werewolf by Night being a character, or like Dracula being a character, or whatever. Like
So
some
it's
of the
gonna
spooky
be
stuff.
actually spooky, not like haha ghosts and pumpkins.
Yeah, I think it'll be their Scoopy.
They're
I think it'll.
spooky.
I think it'll be their spooky stuff, and it's
Like
really
real
cool.
spooky.
This one is being directed by Michael
Like,
Giacchino.
so you're saying like Morbius is gonna be in it?
I know he's owned by Sony. This one's being directed by Michael G.
So Venom's gonna be in it?
Oh my goodness. No.
Wait, it's not the Sony special?
The Sony Spider-Man Marvel Universe.
Do people
Or
call it Spum?
it's Spum. Yeah, it's the Sony Spider-Man universe of Marvel movies.
I hate it.
It's terrible. Anyway, so the Marvel Halloween special is being directed by Michael Giacchino. And I think this is kind of interesting because he's the guy who does all the music for most of the movies, like the
Nice.
scores and stuff.
Well, he
And
better do the music too then.
so I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
And then coming out in November of this year, we have Black Panther Wakanda Forever being directed by Ryan Coogler, which is, of course, the sequel to Black Panther. And it's the
Yes.
first one without Black Panther.
Yeah,
that
which
comes
is
out.
up stirring lots of controversy. People are upset and
Yes.
they're not going to go to theaters to watch it, or groups are saying that they're going to wear all white going or something. And I mean, more power to you.
Should be a fun movie.
Yeah.
And then
I like Black Panther.
I also like Black Panther. He's a very good character.
Yeah.
And a good movie. And that is the final movie of Phase 4. But then in December of this year, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special being directed by James Gunn. And this is for Disney Plus. And it's just going to be a special.
Yeah, I'm excited but skeptical on that. I think it's just going to be nonstop humor and just silly. It's
Yeah.
not going to really matter at all for the.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like it's in canon, but it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Because he's
Literally
basing
just
it on
gonna
the
be
Star
some-
Wars holiday special.
Yeah, it's just going to be like some dancing and Groot being funny. And I feel like there's probably going to be like a, oh, hey, he's in it. Or, oh, hey, look, moments.
Yeah. A lot of cameos and stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited. Off of Marvel real quick, since
Yes.
we're talking about Christmas specials. Unfortunately, it's only on Apple Plus, I think. But I want to see the Will Ferrell Ryan Reynolds musical coming out this Christmas.
Yeah, fuck Apple.
I
There's
just,
so much Will Ferrell stuff going there now.
yeah, like I want to
Same with
watch
Tom
it.
Hanks.
I do want to watch it, but I don't want to pay for another service.
I know.
Do they have like a 7-day free trial?
I think you get 1 month free
Perfect. I'm gonna
because
do it.
that was our plan. Is we have a plan that we're gonna get a free trial, but we are
And
trying to
then just
wait to
watch the
like watch.
crap out of
Yeah,
it.
just watch a bunch of stuff.
Nice. You gonna watch Ted Lasso?
My brother wants to. I've heard good things, but
Yeah.
there's just so much. Like all of Tom Hanks's movies go there now, and all his movies are goddamn 3.5 hours long. Like
That's why they only give you a month. All right, so that wraps up the
that is
Apple
the
Plus
oh yeah,
section. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that wraps up phase
phase
four.
four. Yep.
And what phase is next?
So phase five,
Whoa.
yeah, it begins with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Very fun title,
It is a
and
fun title.
this one's coming out in scheduled tentatively for these are all tentative dates because they could all be switched. I'm just saying that. This one's scheduled to come out on February 17th, 2023, and it's being directed by Peyton Reed yet again. So he's
I
doing
feel
the
like
whole Ant-Man trilogy.
they're often switched, at least by a day or two.
Yeah. Or sometimes
Mm,
like they'll switch them around and stuff.
yeah,
We're getting close enough to these release dates that they're probably set in stone.
it's possible.
Well, and after that, in
You don't want to talk about that at all?
oh yeah, sorry. I
You,
skipped ahead.
you just
Yeah.
want to like read the list and call it a day?
Yeah, I was moving too fast.
Yeah, I believe based on the poster, which again, for movies far out, like this one's close enough, it's probably a real, but people make concept posters and you don't really know what's a real poster when it's so far out. But I believe
Follow Marvel on Twitter.
this is the first movie with Khan.
Kang.
This is the
Yes.
first movie with Kang,
Yes.
which
After
he
he
was
debuted
introduced.
in yeah,
Yes.
Loki.
Yes. Which honestly, I feel like he's OP.
Kang?
Like, yeah,
A little bit.
based off of what happened in Loki, like I just don't know how or who could defeat him.
Yeah, and his powers all revolve around time travel and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
but
I
like
don't really like the
literally,
character of Kang very much. So
yeah, I'm not like super about it, but
I'm
like
not
straight
super
up
excited.
in Loki, like straight up, it's like he was like, you can't defeat me. Like the second you think about doing it, I'll just rewind time or make a timeline where that doesn't happen or some shit. I was just like, what?
Yeah. It's
Yeah, so
a little ridiculous.
I'm really curious on how they're gonna do it.
Hmm.
Because Ant-Man's all about time travel too.
Yeah, a little bit. At least the quantum
Well,
realm.
not all about, yeah.
Yeah.
With that case of Matchbox cars, I hope they have some cool cars in this one.
Do you think we're gonna get to see Hank Pym suit up in this?
Probably.
I hope so. That's the one
I
thing I want
won't
because
I won't be disappointed if not, but yeah, hopefully.
I just feel like the Ant-Man movies, they're not my favorites. I'll say that. I
Sure.
think he works better as a character in the team movies. Like I really like him in the Avengers movie. I like him in Civil War a lot, but I don't like his solo movies. I've just kind of gotten to the point now. We've seen two movies, so it's like, all right, you shrink stuff. Like they shrinked a building in the second one. So like what could possibly be shrunk in this movie that, would excite me, I guess? Nothing really. And he's already grown big. Like
Yeah.
yeah, they did that in Civil War and all the other movies since then. So it's like I've already seen Giant Man, so I feel like there's nothing that they could do that's gonna be
One
like,
thing I
wow.
really did like is when in Hawkeye they had the Pym arrows and he shot one at another arrow to make it super big.
That was kind of cool. Was that in Infinity War?
No, it was in Hawkeye.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I thought of
With
something
his
else, but yes, I really
collection
liked
of
that.
trick arrows. Yeah, he was like, shoot this straight up. And then she's like, okay. And she's straight up. And as it's coming down towards the car, he shoots another arrow at it that makes it super freaking huge and it just demolishes the car.
That was really cool. I liked Hawkeye a lot. Hawkeye was
Yeah.
fun. Hawkeye's a
Which
great character.
we'll talk about Hawkeye when we get to our MCU Phase 4 episode in the far future.
Yes. Yeah, Quantum Mania, I have tempered expectations because I'm not super
Yeah.
excited, but it should have ramifications for the future. And
Yeah.
maybe this is the one thing I will say about Phase 4 so far is they're setting up the multiverse, but I feel like they've been setting it up for so long and showing like just it's like I just don't know what the hell this phase is about or this saga. Because Kevin Feige was like just like a month ago or whatever, he said that if you've watched everything in Phase 4 so far, you can probably figure out what's coming next. And I was like, no, I have no idea what the hell is coming next. Makes no goddamn sense. Nothing ties into whatever. And like
Right.
you watch Moon Knight, or if you watch like Hawkeye and then Moon Knight, the shows have nothing to do with each other. So it's like I don't know what the hell's going on.
I mean, I don't think he necessarily means like the next plotline, but like obviously you know who's going to be the next Captain America, you know who's going to be the next Hawkeye. Like a
Well, no,
lot of it's just
he
super
meant it
hot
in
points.
the sense of like what's going to happen at the end of the saga.
Oh,
And I was just like, no, I don't fucking know.
I
I mean,
think
obviously, I know it's going to be Kang in the Secret Wars because
they're
like they
just going to
announced
get an
that.
apartment together. I think it's going to be like a Teen Titans Go little household.
But I think Quantumania hopefully should shed some light on the wider ramifications of this universe and what this saga has to do. I think
Yeah, probably. We talked about it for way too long. How many stars do you give it? I'm just
four
kidding. What's
stars.
next? What's next?
Next up, from James Gunn again. This
Thor
is
4?
no, we already had Thor 4, you
Sorry.
little
Oh,
troll.
sorry. Thor 5.
Coming out on May 5th, 2023 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and this is the trilogy ender of Guardians of the Galaxy and the send-off for these characters.
Yeah, it's Thor 5.
It's Thor 5, yeah. I
I
don't think
at
Thor's in
least,
this movie at all.
which is stupid. What? No, actually, I guess not. So I did not see
Yeah, I was gonna say
Thor
I haven't
4,
seen Thor 4 also.
but I do know that Guardians characters are in it, so that is fine for me.
I think they're only in the first 10 minutes or something. I saw a tweet about it.
God damn it. I seriously thought at the end of whatever freaking movie that was, Infinity War maybe, like they lined it up that Thor was gonna not
Endgame
necessarily sure, he was not gonna like take over for Peter Quill necessarily, but
as Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, like I thought
Yeah.
Thor was literally gonna be like Rabbit's best friend forever. And
No.
if they're not in movies together anymore, it's like, well then what the heck, Thor? Say hi. I don't know what that was. Yeah, but I'm excited. I really enjoyed the Guardians movies. They were super funny.
They are really
Um,
funny. I love the Guardians movies.
they're just different in a great way.
That was that was one of my favorite things for the first movie is like I've said this multiple times. I've been bored by superhero movies for a while because they're all the same thing. Even
Yeah,
different characters, they're all
exactly.
just the same
A
thing. And
superhero movie is a superhero movie.
exactly. And so I got tired of just seeing, here's a guy on Earth, he gets superpowers, he fights a bad guy and he wins at the end or whatever. I just kept clamoring. I was like, give me something different. Give me something weird. And that first Guardians movie was just great because it was like, hey, here's some weird aliens that are doing something out in space that has nothing to do with Earth except for the start and then one scene in the second movie. But it has nothing to do with Earth and it's just weird stuff. And I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. That's why I like
Yeah,
weird stuff.
yeah, super good, super cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. How many stars do you give it?
12. Yes, and also I don't know if you mentioned that's directed by James Gunn.
I did say, yeah.
He's continued the whole saga.
The trilogy, yes. And this would have been
Well, the holiday
released.
special makes it 4.
Yeah. This would have been released in probably phase 4, honestly. But if you remember, James Gunn got fired and then rehired. So this movie got delayed by a few years because he was like, well, I'm not returning until I finish the Suicide Squad. And so he
Yeah.
didn't come back to work for Marvel until that was 100% done. So,
Now, is Dave Bautista going to be in this?
yeah.
Okay, because I know he was saying he didn't want to because he hates being shirtless and things like that.
No, he was gonna quit. He wanted to quit because they fired James Gunn, but he was like, I'm legally contracted to be in these movies. I have to do it.
Okay.
But then James came back, and so he was all cool with it again.
But he did at one time saying he didn't like not wearing a
Yeah,
shirt,
yeah,
which I
because
think
I
is
think
it's
he's getting
silly.
older now,
Yeah, but
and he probably just
he's
doesn't want to have to work out all the time.
yeah, but he's fucking good looking. So
He is.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to like show off.
Also, he became a grandpa in like his 30s. It's crazy. So young.
One of Drax's most impressive powers to me is being so still.
You can't see him.
Like I just think that's his best power. I can see you.
You can't see me.
No, you can't. Hi, Drax. Damn it.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I like the one joke in the first movie when they're like, "Oh, it went over your head," and he goes, "Nothing can go over my head. I'm too quick." They're coming out next. These are only the movies have release dates, so I just wanted to say that's why all the movies are I have first, but coming out in July 28th, 2003, being directed by Nia DaCosta, is The Marvels, which is a sequel to both Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel.
Is it gonna have both of them in it?
Yes, that's
I'll
why it's
say right
called The
off the bat,
Marvels.
I've only seen Captain Marvel,
Okay. I've
and
only
I've
seen the
not
first two episodes of Miss Marvel.
and I've not seen any Miss Marvel,
It's good.
and I'm not sexist whatsoever, but they're not my favorite.
I
So
really
like
like them as characters.
I think just as projects, they're not the best. I mean the one I've seen, but
I like Captain
I
Marvel
did
a
like
lot.
a bit about it. But yeah,
So I see she's a character that I think is a little bit better in the Avengers movies too. Because like while I really like her solo film, it was in the 90s, it was her getting her powers, it was an origin story. Whereas then she shows up in Endgame and just starts kicking the shit out of Thanos. And it's like,
yeah,
we don't need fucking origin stories anymore. Everyone knows a superhero gets her powers and something happens and they go, "Oh, I'm going to be a hero," or whatever. We don't need to see that shit anymore.
exactly.
It's the fucking same thing every time. Just ignore that. Just give us a movie where they're already a superhero and they're good at their job or whatever. That's interesting. And so like when she shows up at the end battle and Endgame and just she's got her mohawk and she's just going toe to toe, blow for blow with Thanos,
Yeah,
give us that. Like, you know?
right.
So I'm excited for the Marvels being because Miss Marvel, the show, is also an origin story. I'm excited for the movie being the sequel to both of them because it's like, all right, here are two superheroes that already have their powers and they can just kick ass, you know?
Yeah, I mean I'll
Very,
watch it.
very
Not
confusing movie name though.
yeah.
Because when they first announced the Marvels, I was like, what the hell is that? I didn't, I even was like Googling, I was like, Marvel characters, the Marvels. Nothing would come up until they were like, yeah, it's Captain Marvel in this one. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But
Wasn't Captain Marvel a man in the comics?
the original one, yeah, Marvel.
Yeah,
Sean William Scott would have been perfect casting 10 years ago.
he's too old now.
Yeah, he's a little too old now, and I don't think he'd do it.
No, because he's a loser. Just kidding.
Well, after the Marvels, because I feel like we don't have much to say about that.
No, not really.
All
Well, I
right.
will say from Captain Marvel, I really hate how Nick Fury lost his eye. Like, isn't that not how the comics did it?
I have no idea how he lost his eye in the
Yeah,
comics. Like, no
yeah.
clue.
Whether it's true or not to the comics, I just hate it. Like, it could have been so much cooler. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because he could have lost it in battle, or he could have been stabbed with a
Yeah,
knife in the eye, or anything like that. But no,
yeah.
it's just like,
I
fucking.
said if you don't know how it happened, go watch it.
Oh, okay. I'll bleep it. Next up, coming out November 3rd, 2023, being directed by, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Bassam, Bassam space Tariq. Bassam Tariq, maybe. I'm maybe saying it wrong.
I'm thinking it's Bassam Tarek. Tarek?
Yeah, Tariq, maybe, instead because there's no Q, so there won't be a Q sound.
Yeah.
If you know how to pronounce that, email us in. Anyway, it's Blade, the remake, well,
Wesley
not remake,
Snipes.
but reboot of the Blade
Oh,
franchise.
no Wesley Snipes.
No Wesley Snipes, though he said he would have come back for it, but no, they didn't even ask him.
I hope he does like a little grandpa cameo. Like I highly doubt they would, but I want him to be.
Blade is going to he's being played by Mahershala Ali, who I think is a fantastic actor, and this is the second instance of an actor being casted as a second role in the MCU because he originally was Copperhead in Luke Cage on
Ah.
Netflix, but now he's Blade.
Do you know much about this one storyline or anything?
I know
Or is
nothing.
okay,
My
I
knowledge
don't
of
even know what's
Blade
out there.
is very limited and extends very little past the Wesley Snipes movies.
Sure. Yeah, I was just curious. Well, I am curious if this is gonna be just like a one-off, like not like copying the whole trilogy, cramming into one movie, but like Blade, cool, that was done, and then no more Blades, and then maybe Blade will show up in
I think
another movie eventually. But
They're setting Blade up for a run in the future because they're restructuring the MCU. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Kevin Feige's trying to level it off. So there's going to be like cosmic heroes out in space. Then there's going to be like the top tier superheroes, like Thor or the Guardians or whatever.
yeah, the OG Avengers
Yeah.
essentially.
And
Yeah.
then there's going to be like the street level heroes, which is like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Blade, Moon
Punisher.
Knight, Punisher,
Yeah.
stuff
Some
like
like
that.
yeah, some
Which
badass
I
people.
actually I read an opinion article a couple days ago, and it was an opinion piece saying that the Punisher should never come into the MCU. Like he had his two seasons on Netflix, never bring him into a movie. And they're like, with like gun culture and stuff, with what it is now, and like like terrorist groups using the Punisher logo and stuff, they're like, you should just leave it as it is. And I was like, I kind of agree with that. I
I
don't
do
need
but
to see the
don't.
Punisher again.
I do but don't just because it's a story. Like it's fictional. So
Yeah,
like I
but
get what's going on with gun culture, but it's a story. Like people go and watch shoot 'em up movies on purpose. Like yeah,
yeah, just the
I'm
character
okay.
though
I'm okay either way.
of Frank Castle, because like his whole MO is that he does mass shootings, like he just goes to a place and shoots everybody there. And it's like, yeah, it's a touchy subject. There's a scene in season two where he has a legit like firefight in the middle of the street in broad daylight, and he's just shooting randomly, and the people that he's shooting at are shooting back, and there's people caught in the crossfire, and civilians are getting shot, and just like
Does it take place in Ukraine?
it takes place in New York, so it's just kind of like whatever. I don't know.
Was that like a too soon thing that I said that?
Ukraine.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. After that, these are the TV series that are being released in Phase 5 that don't have scheduled release dates yet. So we have Secret Invasion Season 1, which is being directed
Ooh.
by Thomas Bazuchka and Ali Salim. And this one's is scheduled to come out in 2023. Now, Secret
That
Invasion,
that'll be cool. Should
I
be cool. I hope it's
I'm
cool.
excited for this one because this will directly feed off of the ending of Captain Marvel, where if you remember the post-credit sequence in that is Talos and whoever the other scroll is revealing themselves as Maria Hill and Nick Fury. So how long has Nick Fury been in space? How long has Talos been, you know, pretending to be him?
Well,
How many scrolls are there?
Nick Fury was the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it could have been Talos. See, that's
No,
the
I'm saying
thing.
no. I'm saying the end credit scene was, and the end of Spider-Man was Nick Fury locked up in space.
Because Talos or Nick Fury in Spider-Man 3, is that No Way Home? Or no, wait,
No,
Far From
two.
Home. Far From Home,
Yeah,
that's 2. Nick Fury in that movie is Talos, which is why, Nick Fury is quicker to trust Mysterio and stuff.
yeah,
Because it's not Nick Fury, it's Talos. So it's like
yeah.
it just there's a lot you can do in Secret Invasion. I really hope it's good.
I just hope it's not overkill, like because I haven't read the comic.
Hmm.
I know like too many supers are scrolls in that comic. I assume, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like maybe
Yeah,
everybody in the MCU is a scroll. We don't
but
know.
that's what I'm hoping not. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm hoping they don't go overkill and they're like, oh, everyone is, or like everyone you thought you trusted you couldn't. It's like no, just like throw a few, like sprinkle a few.
Who
Like
would
I really,
you most want to see be a scroll? And who would you least want to see?
Aunt May.
She's dead.
uh, so sad.
Spider-Man would be one I'd least want to see.
Yeah,
You know what? Hawkeye could be a good one, though he's got his family. I don't know. Maybe War Machine. War Machine could be.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to say. Should be good though. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't really care who scrolls. I just hope it's good.
Me too.
And I also hope, which I assume it won't though. So the thing with these shows is so far there's not many star power. I mean, obviously actor wise there is like Loki had Owen Wilson and things like that, but like
Yeah,
in
they usually
Loki,
have like the lead character be someone famous, and then everyone else is
yeah,
like nobody.
yeah, but that I'm talking like character wise. So, like in Hawkeye, handful of people. Like I'm saying like in Secret Invasion, I highly, highly doubt we're gonna see the whole cast of the Avengers in that show.
Oh yeah, no way. It's
Which is
gonna be
unfortunate because it should be like Secret Invasion should, especially like if it is a lot of them are Skrulls, like it's gonna be like freaking Happy's brother that we've never met before is a Skrull. Like what the hell? Like
Happy Hogan would be a cool. That could be a cool scroll.
right. Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
curious to see how meaningful it is or like who's in it, but we'll see.
Ben Mendo is definitely going to be the main actor in that one. I would think
Who's
Talos.
that?
Ben Mendo, what a great actor! God, I love that guy. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And then next up in 2023 also is Echo Season 1. This one's being directed by Sidney Freeland and Catriona McKenzie. Now, Echo She's
I
a
have no idea
character
who Echo
I
is.
don't know much about her. I know Daredevil is going to be in the show, and I know Kingpin is coming back in the show. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know anything about Echo.
The most recent Kingpin, not the old school.
Yeah, Vincent
Because
D'Onofrio, which he's from the Daredevil
Clark
Netflix
Duncan's dead.
series. Which, oh yeah, you mentioned you haven't seen Daredevil.
Not all of it.
It's very good.
But he was in Hawkeye.
Yes, he was in Hawkeye, which was very cool.
I get he's extremely, extremely strong and powerful, but I think in Hawkeye it was a tad too much.
See that I liked it because they made him more comic book like in Hawkeye than in the Netflix show because he's supposed to be like super duper strong.
Yeah, but he's human, isn't he?
Yeah,
And there was straight up explosions and
that's true.
huge
Yeah,
explosion. Yeah, I think
I just like his
like
fighting style. I
yeah,
think it was
fighting
better in
style I
this
have
one.
no problem with. Yeah, even if he took a bullet or took an arrow to the neck, I think he could survive it. Yeah, he's super strong. But when they did the explosion and he was fine, I was like, eh. But that's just me.
And it makes me wonder what happened at the end of Hawkeye because his
He's a
last thing.
Skrull. He's a Skrull.
Oh, there we go. People would hate that. I
Yeah.
guarantee you people would flip out about that. Like you bring this character back from the one Netflix show everybody adores just to turn him into a scroll. Oh, people would hate that. Do we have anything else to talk about Echo, a character we don't know?
No
I'm
idea.
gonna, you know
I
what?
couldn't. I know so little about Echo. I didn't even know if it was male or female. And you were like, I don't know much about her. I'm like, oh, there you go. I don't know.
I'm looking her up.
Okay, I'm gonna check on my baby.
She's the adoptive daughter of the Kingpin.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, we'll learn about that when we watch the show, I guess.
She's a Native American and one of the few deaf comic book characters. Her Echo guise includes a white handprint that covers most of her face. Oh, so
Nice.
her name is Maya Lopez. She was in Hawkeye, apparently. I don't
Well, I was
remember that
gonna.
character.
Was she? Oh yeah. Of course, she was the deaf chick.
Oh, yeah, okay. So,
Yeah,
yeah, she's gonna be
and her
Echo.
brother was there. Yeah,
Cool. So, we've already seen Echo.
yeah, because freaking Hawkeye, which what's that street vigilante name for Hawkeye?
Ronan.
Yeah, Ronan killed Echo's dad.
Yeah.
I guess Kingpin adopted her or something. It
Wow.
seemed more like a boss role in that movie, but
They might
whatever.
not do the Kingpin father storyline either.
Yeah, probably not. It's
That
probably
seems
just
too
a
comic
boss.
booky.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I thought her dad was Japanese in that movie. In Hawkeye.
I don't remember,
So maybe
honestly.
she also doesn't have the white handprint. You read the description of the character from the comic book, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna be way different because that's how movies are.
Well, her name was
Got
Maya
it.
Lopez in the show, so I don't know what her
Still,
ethnicity is going to be. If she's a Native American in the comic, it would be weird that they change it, but I don't know.
yeah, who knows?
Well, coming out after Echo, we have Ironheart Season 1, being directed by Sam Bailey and Angela Barnes. I'm excited for this. Riri Williams.
I know very little about it.
She's a character that lives in Africa, and during one of the Avengers battles, some of Stark tech lands in Africa, and she's super smart and is able to create her own suit of armor based upon Stark's design, and she becomes Ironheart. I'm excited for this. And
There's rumor that Downey might be in this, right?
I honestly don't know. If he was, I would think it
It'd
would be
be
as
a
like a hologram or some
cameo.
shit.
Yeah, or so you found some of my stuff. Good for you. And that's it.
Yeah.
He's like the bad guy. Give me my stuff back.
Give me my stuff back. Even though I'm dead, give it back. Go throw it in the ocean.
He's back from the dead. Well,
There
and
was
that's the thing,
some.
though. Anything can change. Watch Ant-Man bring him back to life. I'm just kidding.
I would honestly hate that. There were some
No,
set photos that got released a few days ago of the Ironheart suit, and they're actually using like practical effects for most of it. It looks pretty cool.
nice. Isn't Ironheart a newer story? Like within the last 10 to 15
Yeah,
years?
I want to say she probably debuted around like 2011 or so. I'm looking it up right now. She was created in 2016, so even more recent.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting. She didn't have her full appearance as Ironheart until 2017, though. Oh, and she's actually going to be debuting in Wakanda Forever, so we'll get to see her later
Oh,
this
very
year.
cool.
Yeah. Well, moving on from Ironheart, after that is Loki Season 2. also scheduled for
I'm very
2023.
excited. I'm very excited for that.
This one's being directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Loki too. I liked Loki 1 a lot.
I really did too. It's maybe tied with Hawkeye for my favorite of the Disney Plus series because it's fucking goofy, but it's also like
Yeah.
super serious. And I love the fact that Owen Wilson's character's name is Mobius, M. Mobius, and the middle name is Mobius also. So it's Mobius, Mobius, Mobius.
So funny.
Yeah, just a goofy name. And I loved all the different, all the different Loki's variants that there were, like Selena. Is that her name? Selena? Sylvia. Is it Sylvia?
Sylvie.
Sylvie, okay. Like Sylvie was a great character. I really liked the alligator Loki. Um,
Yeah.
classic Loki was really cool. He was played by one of the Doctor Who actors. I
Yeah,
can't remember his name.
Richard E. Grant.
Yes, Richard E. Grant. Which did weird fact for you about Richard E. Grant. Do you know where he was born?
I do not.
It's gonna blow your mind when I tell you. He was born in Swaziland.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Swaziland is a country that does not exist anymore. It is now Eswatini, but it's just I was on his Wikipedia page once. I looked and it said he was a Swazi-born actor, and I was like, he was born in Swaziland? That's insane. It's not that insane because people are
No.
born there, but it's just crazy that there's one actor that's like, yeah, I'm Swazi.
I'll be honest, my brain's not as blown as you said it was going to be, but
All right, well,
still, wow.
I thought it was a fun fact.
Yeah, it is a fun fact.
But yeah, I'm very excited for Loki season 2 because I really liked the first season. And I just feel like this is the one show that can do anything because it pretty much already did. Like the show, if you really think about it, like Loki's dead. And like this is just like he's just
Well, Loki's
stuck in
died.
fucking time.
He's died what, 3 times now?
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe so. Because he
it's
died in the
great.
dark Thor the Dark World. He died at the end of he died in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I think he maybe faked his own death in one of the other movies. I can't
I
remember
mean,
though.
he just gets the Tesseract and everything's good.
Yeah.
I really like that he keeps stealing it from the same scene, like the same point in time.
Yeah, he just keeps going and he's like, oh,
It's great. Yeah.
yeah, I really liked the show. And I love the like the time police and stuff. Like it's such a fun concept because it's so stupid. It's like they're protecting time variance or whatever that isn't even like their whole purpose in life. They're created to do this, but it's not even real. Because like
No.
you get to the scene with Kang and Kang's like, oh yeah, none of it's real, none of it matters. And so it's just
Yeah,
like
but everyone's like stripped from their family and like brain warped to do this. Like,
yeah.
and like because Owen Wilson's character, he's like sitting there looking at jet skis, and he for some reason likes jet skis, and he doesn't realize that like, well, obviously he doesn't realize because he's brainwashed, but he like has jet skis. Like he's a normal dude with a weird ass mustache. Like,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know that.
It's great. And
Yeah,
I really liked the the time voice, like the little time. It was
yeah,
kind of like
the little
clippy.
clock. Yeah,
Yeah. It was voiced by Tara Strong, who Tara Strong is one of my favorite voice actors because she voice acts in literally everything. She's great. I just thought that was fun. So I'm excited for Loki season 2. What do you think they're going to do? Like, what do you think the
Well,
future is going to hold?
I just don't know. Yeah, I'm real pumped though. I hope that comes out sooner than later. Like you said, there's no release. It's just the year.
Yeah. They don't have
I
any
hope
release
it's
dates for the shows.
I hope it's early. Well, when was the last one? Not that this really matters.
The last one
June.
was,
So yeah, June. So maybe June again. Who knows? Because sometimes they like to do things like
yeah, the
that.
same season or same month.
Because yeah, because like for Spider-Man. Just kidding. It comes out in July, then it came out in December. Never mind.
I want Loki to hook up with Sylvie. I know they kissed at the end of season 1, but I want them to fully hook up because then it's him having sex with himself. I think that's fun.
Well, they kissed and then he ditched. So I don't know. I think they hate each other now.
I want a full-blown penetration sex scene.
They would not be having sex with each other. What are you talking about? It's not. They're different people altogether. They're
Yep,
different Lokis.
but they're the same person.
No, they're different Lokis.
They're just variants.
Yeah, different Lokis.
Ah.
It's not like Jack Jack where like each different Jack Jack is the same Jack Jack. They're different Lokis.
They're not different. They're from the same universe. They're just from different variants in time because different different events in time occur that change the timeline and force different changes in the universe.
Right.
To which,
So you're saying if you go to the
if you
universe
went
where there's a
to,
female you,
yeah,
is that incest?
no, it's not incest. It's just having sex with yourself.
Would your baby have 6 toes?
I could you even have? I don't know. I don't know how any of this works because it's not real.
Yes, it is. All right. What's the last one of next year, 2023?
The last one is What If Season 2, being directed by Brian Andrews. And I'll be honest with you, I still haven't finished Season 1 of What If. I have a really hard time getting into it.
Neither have I. Same.
The episodes are really long and drawn out, and honestly, a lot of them are just the same story. Like the first episode is what if Peggy Carter became Captain America? And it's like you watch the episode and it's like, all right, well, this is just the plot of the first Captain America movie, but they just made the character
Yeah.
a different person.
Pretty much the exact same.
It's the
Well, and
exact
to
same
me,
thing.
I feel like it's hard for me to get into because I like these Marvel movies so much and Marvel shows that I like want more, and then it's fake. You're like, this isn't like this
Yeah,
doesn't even help any of the plot. Like, why? I'm not saying it's a waste of time, but
it's just not what I wanted.
yeah, you're not gonna finish this show and then go, okay, cool, that leads into the next. No, it doesn't lead into anything. It's just
Exactly.
it is fun, but
And I don't like
I'll
that
watch them eventually.
some of the voice actors, like they couldn't get the actual actor to come in and do the voices, so
They did
they
get
hired.
most.
They've got most, but like
But like
Spider-Man is voiced by someone
I was
else.
gonna say B
Iron
list
Man
actors.
and Captain America are voiced by different people,
Well, obviously,
but
because they're too popular.
too big, too big,
Too big. Like if Brad Pitt was in the Avengers,
huge,
they would not get
huge.
him for What If.
Oh, I definitely think he would. Brad Pitt will do anything. He don't care. He loves movies.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, just the fact he was in Deadpool was
Yeah, and
amazing.
he was on Jackass, like the
That's
TV show
nice.
Jackass when it was on MTV.
Nice.
It's like he'll do anything. I love Brad
Nice.
Pitt. He's great.
Yeah, he is great.
Moving on to 2024.
So far, but so soon.
The first one in 2024 is scheduled to be released on May 3rd, and it's being directed by Julius Ona, and it's Captain America New World Order with the Falcon, but he's
Whoa,
Captain
Chris
America.
Evans is coming back.
No, 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 no,
Oh
sir.
man.
It's Anthony
Yeah.
Mackie. That's his name.
Yeah, there it is.
He's a good
Yeah.
actor. I like him. He's in The Hurt Locker. It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I know he's been around.
I am really excited for this one, not only because I like the Falcon as a character a lot, but his Captain America suit is fucking banging, dude. Like, I think it's perfect. It looks so cool. It's got the wings
It's
and the shield and
it's
the
too
colors.
white.
And I
It's
really
too
like it.
white. It's too white. They need a little more color in there.
I really enjoy it.
A
I think it's awesome.
little more red and blue.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Me too. It's so white.
Ah, it looks great. If anything, it's too blue.
Well, I didn't realize it wasn't as white as I remembered, so
Yeah, it's just the mask area that's pretty white, but the rest of the suit's a lot of blue, and then there's like the
maybe it was
red
a
and white
maybe
stripes.
it was a bright scene that I remember seeing it.
I really like it. I think it's a cool suit. I'm excited for it. And is Bucky gonna be in the movie? I hope
Yeah,
so. I
he
really
has
like
to be.
their camaraderie,
He has to
and
be.
they're just a great bromance. I think they're great, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I think it should be cool. Well, and especially, I assume there'll be more of, I forget the team they're creating. Wyatt
I assume it
Russell
would just. Oh
and
yeah, Thunderbolts. That's the team. Yeah,
I don't like the name. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's Thunderbolts, the Dark Avengers. Is that in our list?
it is. Yeah, it's a future movie. It's actually the next movie.
It's gonna be 2 Captain America movies because I assume Captain America is gonna be in that.
Well, it'll be Wyatt Russell, not Captain America, because
I
he's not
assume.
Captain America anymore.
Well, he never was, in my opinion. But
Well, I mean, technically he was.
no, he wasn't. He was fake.
He was Captain America, though. He had the shield and everything.
He was pretending. Do you have anything more to say about Captain America besides you're excited?
It should be a good time. I'm really interested in what they're doing with Falcon as Captain America because I really enjoyed his series. I know some people were pretty iffy on it, but I thought it was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just excited for the camaraderie of him and Bucky. And Who's going to be the villain? I don't know.
Yeah, should be good. I'm excited. Or it won't be good. Who knows?
Well, how many stars do you give it? Bringing that joke back. The next one, scheduled for 7/26/2024, being directed by Shake Schreier. It's Thunderbolts, team that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is putting together. I can't remember her character name.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's coined the Dark Avengers, right?
Yeah, the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a bunch of villains that pretend to be superheroes, but they have dark, ulterior motives.
Yes. Yeah, one of the missions was to kill Hawkeye.
Yeah,
Didn't work.
I like Hawkeye.
Didn't work.
I hope Hawkeye sticks around in this universe because I know like they're passing the torch to Kate Bishop, but I hope Clint as a character sticks around for a while.
But why would he?
I don't know because he's the best Avenger.
But if he passes the torch, he's no longer Avenger. He's just bro.
Yeah,
Like literally,
but-
they just call him every movie. Hey, how's it going? Oh, pretty good on the farm, you know. Okay, cool. And you're like, yes, he was there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm
They can
not
they can have
frozen
two Hawkeyes. Yeah, this one I'm excited for because I like villains, and I think a big problem the MCU has had in the past is that they don't give enough time to their villains, and so they have incomplete backstories and stuff like that. And so yeah, we'll get hopefully more character development and stuff in this one if it's a team of baddies the whole time. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Loki's the first time they've dove into a bad guy, really.
yeah.
Right.
Also, like Black Panther, Killmonger, he got a pretty decent backstory.
Well, I'm saying solo project. Like Loki got a season,
Yeah.
and then this will be a movie of the Dark Avengers or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully. I've never read much of the Dark Avengers or Thunderbolt comics, so I don't know any storylines or anything like that, but
Yeah,
it'd be pretty fun.
I've heard that if you invite them to a dinner party, they'll bring chips and salsa and salmon, though, no matter what you're eating.
Chips and salsa and salmon. Horrible combination of food to bring.
Yeah, I think you told me that. Be like, hey, we're having meatloaf, potatoes. Well, here's some chips and salsa.
And I brought this bag of salmon.
Bag.
Oh, yeah, why is it in a bag?
A burlap sack. There might be some burlap fibers in there, but yeah.
Just fry it. It'll
Yeah.
be good. You didn't bring anything else? I got some fish sticks in my trunk, but they've been in there for like 2 weeks, so they're probably not good.
Yeah. What's next after Thunderbolts?
Well, coming out in 2024, this is Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Season 1. And this is based on Agatha Harkness from the WandaVision show, played by Catherine Hahn.
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah. And I was not expecting her to have a continued role in the MCU, especially 3 years on from her debut, because it just seemed like a small role or just like one, she's in the show or whatever. But I like Catherine Hahn as an actor a lot, so it should be fun. Though I have no idea what it's going to be about because I have
Just witches and stuff.
Yeah, I have no clue who Agatha is.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll watch it. It's about as far as I know.
This is true. Well, after that, rounding out Phase 5 of the MCU, the thing I'm most excited for in the future, this is Daredevil Born Again Season 1. And this is, bringing Charlie Cox's Daredevil back into the MCU. He premiered or debuted in Spider-Man No Way From Home as Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, but now he's going to be Daredevil again. And I love the title Born Again because it's got multiple meanings because it's a storyline title from the comics. It's because he's Catholic. And he's also born again because he's back in the MCU, baby.
He's a really good lawyer, we found out in Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he catches that brick.
And he's in court.
He is a good lawyer. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they're going to bring the full cast back, like Karen and Foggy Nelson and all them. And I hope Bullseye comes back because he was great in season 3. I can't remember if he died or not. But yeah, I just really excited for Daredevil. It's the one thing I'm most excited for because he's my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah, I like Daredevil a lot.
That's all I got about Daredevil. Should we move on to Phase 6?
Yeah, what do we have for Phase 6 so far?
Well, there's only been 3 things announced for Phase 6 so far.
Oh, that's a short phase.
I know. It's only half of Phase 1. Well, the first thing scheduled to be released in Phase 6 is scheduled on November 8th, 2024, and it's Fantastic Four. This has no director attached anymore because John Watts, who's the director of the Spider-Man trilogy, he left the project because he didn't want to keep making superhero movies.
What a loser.
He's a good director. I've seen every movie he's directed
Nice.
because he's directed four: the three Spider-Mans and then Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. I am really excited for Fantastic Four because I think it'll be the first ever Fantastic Four movie that's actually good. Because the three previous ones have kind of sucked, and I'm just excited to figure out who the cast is going to be. Like,
Yeah,
I have no
Amber
ideas.
Heard and Johnny Depp.
No, that would be no good, sir. I think the 2005 Fantastic Four movies had an amazing cast. Just as a movie, they weren't very good. Like Michael Chiklis was really good as a thing, but
Sure.
yeah, I'm excited, and I know John Krasinski. Minor spoiler, he was Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange 2, but he was a variant from an alternate world, so he's not like the mainline Mr. Fantastic. So they could recast it, and yeah, I have no clue.
Neither do I.
Should be fun though. Should
I
be.
did hear that there's actually talk about Amber Heard, so we'll see.
I would hope not.
Right?
I don't know. Would people like that? I feel like Twitter would freak out.
Half would. I mean, like, same with everything. I feel like half yes, half no.
I was seeing both sides of it on Twitter, but the Johnny
Yeah.
side definitely outweighed the Amber side.
Yeah.
But that's not what our podcast is about. Back to comic
Not
books.
this episode. Yeah, Fantastic Four, you know, they've had quite a few goes. They've dabbled around.
They've had four movies already.
Yeah.
Just only three have been released. Because there was the Fantastic Four
Go
from
listen to episode
1994.
one. Shut up. Go
Yeah,
listen to
that's
episode
true.
one.
Yeah, I mentioned all of them there. Could do that.
There's timestamps if you don't want to listen to the whole thing.
There's actually not timestamps on episode one. I wasn't doing it then.
Perfect.
I
Listen
think
to the
I
whole
think those start in episode three.
listen to the whole thing.
Email us the timestamps for that whole episode if you listen to it.
Yeah. Buy us lunch while you're at it. As long as it's not chips and dip and
And
salmon.
salmon.
No, I have nothing else about this except for it'll be cool.
I'm excited. And I think it'll be this is a rumor that has been going around for years, and I
Their
would love
suits are
to
going to
see
be
this.
yellow.
That could work. I would love to see this, but I don't think it'll happen. But they should make the Fantastic Four movie set in the 1960s. Have Fantastic Four be the first superheroes in the Marvel Universe that, in the MCU at least, they were superheroes in the 60s, and then have the movie end with like a time warp or some shit. I don't know. Or, the quantum realm or something. Maybe they're stuck in the quantum realm. Who knows? I don't know. But bring them to the modern day and take off from there. Wouldn't that be cool?
It could be. Or have it like Captain Marvel, where it's them in the 60s, and then that's it. And then a future movie like Avengers, one that we're going to get to shortly, they show up in it or something.
Yeah, but something would have to get them out of the 60s because
Yeah.
that's 80 years ago at this
Well,
point. No, it's not.
they would have
60
to
years ago.
dust off. They would dust off that thing they did in Infinity War Endgame.
The time travel device?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where they all did like a superhero Power Ranger pact together, like, okay, let's go. And then they zoomed back in time.
I liked the time travel suits in that movie. A lot of people
Oh,
didn't, but I did.
the suits were fine, but it just seemed a little cheesy. But we'll get to that movie another time.
Shall we move on to the next? I think I already asked that, so I'm just doing it.
Do it.
Coming out on May 2nd, 2025, being directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who is
So far away.
he's the director of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and this is Avengers: The Kang Dynasty.
Wait, did you say Avengers?
Yes, this is the Avengers movie that will be
Whoa.
ending the saga.
Oh, I haven't seen an Avengers movie in a long time.
I know it'll. When did Endgame come out? That was 2019, right? Because Infinity War is 2018. Yeah, so it'll have been 6 years since an
Wow.
Avengers movie.
That's a long time.
It is a long time because Kevin Feige said that Avengers movies are no longer going to be phase enders. They're going to be saga enders. So, like, there won't be an Avengers movie every phase anymore.
So this will be the last Avengers movie? I'm just kidding.
Well, until they do phase 7, 8, and 9.
Will the MCU ever die? Or will this be a coming in 2048, phase 12? Okay, it'd be higher than that, but like,
I have
and it's
no
like
idea
freaking, and the
because
characters are like either brand new and made up, or they're like literally like backstory of Ant-Man's friend.
Luis.
Yeah,
I don't know because Marvel is very quickly running out of like big storylines that they've had.
yeah. I mean, honestly, like you said, some of the well, you might not have said this. Backstories sometimes just don't need to happen. Does it really need to be an Echo show? Like all these side shows.
Yeah, because there's certain
Like
characters where you're
like I
just like,
feel like we could go without Agatha. Like you said, you didn't think she was gonna come around.
yeah.
I don't think we need that. I
And
mean, I'll
Agatha's
watch it.
a character I've literally never heard of. Like
Yeah,
I don't read Scarlet Witch comics or anything, but I've literally never heard
sure.
of her
Yeah, I'll
before the
watch it and
show.
be happy about it, but we didn't need it.
Yeah, exactly. Same like Thunderbolts. I in a million years would have never guessed they're making a Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah.
Just just weird, but whatever. I like weird stuff, so bring it on. But the Kang Dynasty, of course, Kang is going to be the villain. We talked about him previously. He was introduced in Loki and stuff.
Yes.
And I assume this is going to be about time travel, maybe, because that's Kang's like only power. And I don't really have any ideas of what this movie is going to be outside of that. And if they do time travel, I said do. If
You
they
did.
do time travel, like what's it gonna be? You know, because they already did time travel in Endgame, so are they just gonna do another one like that?
Well,
Or
I think this is gonna be so since this one's so far out,
yeah,
like almost 3 years from now.
I think it's gonna have more to do with the multiverse than time travel. I
Well,
think
I'm
they might
saying
change Kang's character.
they'll put a lot of things leading up to this still. So
Yeah.
like Quantum Mania, I feel like
Hmm.
that's gonna touch on time travel. Loki season 2, like obviously it ended with Kang being there,
Exactly.
and that whole thing's about time. So
And the
I'm
Marvels
honestly,
potentially could have
yeah.
something
So
to
I
do with
think
it.
by the end of Loki season 2, we might have a better guess at Kang Dynasty. But right now, I wouldn't even poke a stick at it personally.
Yeah. There's just too many variables.
Yeah, like they might just recast him as Brad Pitt or something. Like it's just so far down the road from now.
It
We'll see.
really is.
Would you like a Pitt as Kang?
Sure. I'd
Sure.
like Brad Pitt in the MCU, period.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Come on, Brad.
Do any character. Well, and then the third movie that has been announced for Phase 6, and the last so far, these are the only ones that have been announced so far, scheduled to be released on November 7th, 2025, Avengers Secret Wars. That's right, folks. Two Avengers movies in
What?
1 year.
But how and why? That means from May of 25 to November of 25, there's going to be a whole saga released. Otherwise, Kevin's a fucking liar.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah, is he really going to try to pull a whole saga?
a whole
Or maybe,
phase.
no, you said it's not phases, it's sagas now.
No, the saga is the three phases. So phase 4, 5, and 6 is one saga.
Oh, well, then Secret Wars is just confusing as fuck because, according to Kevin Feige,
Yeah.
the next Avengers movie, which was Secret Wars, should be in phase 9.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, he
Like
straight up lied.
I mean, I think Kang Dynasty is going to directly lead into Secret Wars, and I'll tell you
Maybe
why. I
maybe it's
think
like
this.
a Infinity War end game. Like
Exactly.
it's a twofer.
Yeah. This one has no director attached yet, but so I said the Kang Dynasty is either going to be like time travel or maybe multiverse stuff. I think it's going to be multiverse stuff because it's a multiverse saga, but I think it's going to directly impact Secret Wars because Secret Wars in the comics at least is like there's multiple variations of different characters in multi from different multiverses and
Will
stuff.
there be a
And they
Tobey
get
Maguire?
maybe
Let's
they
hope
get
so.
brought in together and then they have to like battle each other and stuff. So I
Like
don't know how,
Spider-Man versus Spider-Man.
yeah, or like Hawkeye versus Captain America or whatever. Like
Well, see,
it's
the
just
crazy
stuff like
thing,
that.
and like right now, people are like, what's gonna happen in that movie? It's like we have to wait to see what happens in the beginning. Like, I think straight up, Quantumania and Loki 2 are really gonna change Kang Dynasty, but straight up, Secret Invasion might fuck with everything.
Yeah. that's another thing that could lead into everything because with all the scrolls and stuff, and then Secret Wars, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be fucking
So
ridiculous.
yeah, that's why I will not take a single guess like towards anything in the future because I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Like there's so many people out there that are super guessing. They're like, "See, I was right all along." It's like I don't give a fuck. Like
I don't really care either. I just think it's fun to
I'm just
hypothesize.
yeah. Oh sure, but I'm just reminding you that there's so much gonna go down in certain movies that are gonna change things. I think the holiday special might really. I'm just kidding.
And just looking at how many things were released in phase four, and then how many things were coming out in phase five, and then you look at there's three things announced for phase six, all taking place in a 1 year gap.
Yeah.
So how big is phase six going to be? Are there going to be multiple shows throughout that 2 years? Are there going to be more
Well,
movies? It's
I'm
confusing.
curious. I'm curious if each phase is some kind of small. If it's movies only, like how many movies are in phase three?
In phase three, it was 11 movies. And then in
Yeah.
phase four, it is one, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
Wow. In phase
And then
four,
phase five has
sorry. Yeah.
one, two, three, four, five, six movies announced in phase five, and then
Yeah.
three for
So
phase
I
six.
feel like phase three, since there wasn't any shows yet, they like kind of vomited movies. They're just like, here's a fuck ton of movies.
Yeah, and phase three is also when they started to do 3 movies a year
Right.
instead of just two.
And then now that there's shows, they're like, all right, let's back off on the movies a little bit.
Yeah, because people just don't have enough time to watch everything.
Yeah.
If
Which is
they
just crazy. Like across the board. It's like so now instead of 10 2-hour movies, we'll just do 6-hour shows. Like
so much time, you have to really commit yourself to the MCU now. And imagine,
yeah. Oh
imagine
yeah.
being someone who's never watched the MCU and they're like, I'm going to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
It wasn't that hard, just a couple of years ago to watch, 20 movies. Now it's like you got to watch 25 movies and 20 shows, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm
glad
sure
I've been
I'm
a
sure
fan since the beginning.
it's gonna be a week straight of content before we know it. If it's not already, honestly.
No, definitely. It probably is.
It will literally take you months to get through the MCU. And by the time you're caught up, another 2 seasons of another show and 4 movies will come out.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's too much.
Somebody walks in the room when you're watching, I don't know, Daredevil Born Again, and they're like, "Oh my god, what's up with him?" You're like, "Oh, you got to go back to the very beginning to find out." I don't have time.
I don't have time. But I think that wraps up. That's everything we had to talk about in this
Yeah,
episode. So, any closing thoughts?
no, not really. I think we should do a MCU live stream where we don't take breaks.
Oh my God. That would be insane. People would have
It,
to donate like crazy to get us to keep going.
it would be a tag team situation. One of us would
Yeah.
sleep while the other one's watching. I don't
But then,
think anyone cares, so no one would pay us a dime for that.
yeah. I don't know. I've watched a lot of live streams that go for, like a week, and people would donate like crazy, even when they're sleeping.
Well, I guess donate us some money and we'll live stream for a long time.
Are you ready?
For what?
For Wheel.
Wait, whoa, whoa. No,
What?
no,
What?
no, we're not doing that this week.
Oh, we're not?
No, and that's my line, anyways.
Okay.
This is just a future show, just chatting.
Yeah, we decided against doing Wheel of Verses because how could we do Wheel of Verses when we don't know what these characters are going to be like?
Yeah. All right, I choose Echo. Uh,
And I have Agatha.
Agatha. Yeah, there you go. No, yeah, Wheel of Verses will be back next week. Don't you worry. Speaking of next week and Wheel of Verses, what are we talking about?
Next week, we are doing the Predator franchise, the 4
Ooh,
Predator movies, and the newest one, Prey, which just came out on Hulu earlier this month.
that's right.
I'm very excited. I like Predator.
I've never seen Predator. I
Oh,
know,
it's
I
got Chris
know.
Hansen in it.
Is that To Catch a Predator?
That is To Catch a Predator. Yeah,
I don't think he's in it unless
he is
that's
not.
his acting career before catching predators.
No, it's just a
Wait,
funny
wait,
joke
whoa,
on
whoa,
my
wait.
end.
We're watching a franchise of movies about perverts. I don't want to watch
I've
this.
seen every episode of that show. I'm joking.
I've seen plenty.
All right, I'm going to throw out our email again. If you want to hit us up, you can at ourdads@gmail.com. Send us episode ideas, your comments, your questions, anything you want, and we will read it out on the pod.
That's right. We will.
I think we did this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Sure.
talked about Jason Statham.
Yes.
That was a fun episode. I enjoyed myself.
I thought so too.
I hope the listeners enjoyed it.
You'll have to send this episode to Nathaniel.
I will. I think he might be one of our listeners, but I'll make sure he gets it.
People can't hear that, but I just made a fist pump.
He'll probably correct us on everything we said wrong.
I welcome it because I don't know Marvel as well as I know DC, like history wise. So if I'm wrong on stuff, definitely email in and tell me I'm wrong because I would love to know. Whereas, like,
Yeah,
if this was like, if we were talking DC, I know so much about DC history. It's crazy.
yeah, like what year the Capitol was built, or what
1776. That's not true.
false.
That's not true. That's
You should. Oh, it's like one of those stupid memes. Like I'm gonna tell my kids this is so and so.
yeah.
It's like I'm gonna tell my kids Capitol was built in 1776. It's like, okay.
Washington DC wasn't even founded, but all right, man. You do you.
I wonder if anyone hears DC Comics and they're like, oh, like some political comic books?
You know what it stands for?
District of Columbia.
No, it's Detective Comics, which is what Batman debuted in.
Batman's a
they
detective.
they had at one point it still runs, but it's Detective Comics. It's gone for over 1,000 issues, but they named their company DC after Detective Comics. So they're Detective Comics publishing Detective Comics. It's fucking weird. And what's even stupider is the DC stands for Detective Comics, but it's also their full name is DC Comics. So if you were to write that out, it's Detective Comics Comics.
There's so much shit like that in the world. I just hate it.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, I'm Nathan Tracy.
And I'm Nathan. Shit. I'm Bat Tracy. And our dads are brothers.
That they are. That was fun.
I agree.
Yeah, we should chat again sometime.
I think we should after all these movies come out.
Probably way sooner, but
Oh,
yeah,
you
we
mean
can
like next week?
Sure, yeah.
Perfect. It'll be like a podcast.
Cool. I don't know what a podcast is, but I trust you.
Oh, it's basically what we just did.
Oh, nice. All right, bye.